we received. We know you enjoyed it. Well, as we promised, we followed the boys' progress when they came to the big city with our Craig Johnson as their guide.
This is the Burunga Boxing Club, 4 young adults who form the only Aboriginal community boxing group registered with the Northern Territory Boxing Association. Next month, the boys will be making their first big trip away from Burunga to Brisbane and Sydney. Nevertheless, where they're headed is an alien world.
It's all going to be paid for, okay? You just take enough money away to spend. You might want to buy new shoes or something, you know, or clothes, something like that. But don't go spending stupid.
You looking forward to going down to Sydney and Brisbane?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to really looking forward to Sydney. Never seen Sydney before.
It's 1 month later, and the Burunga Boxing Club have made it to Sydney for a series of bouts against local fighters. Do you like Sydney?
No.
No? Why not?
Too much pollution.
Too much pollution?
Yeah.
You mean too much pollution? Yeah? Why, can you smell it, can you? Yeah? Do you like anything about it?
Yeah, opera.
Yeah? Anything else?
The hotel where we live.
For them, this was a trip through time, where maybe their biggest fight would be coming to terms with the scale of the southern capital.
They're looking at the doorman straight away. They wonder what he's doing in a big uniform there. They thought he's something really important, getting good money, but found out later on that we're getting more money than him on the council in Burunga.
In every sense, Sydney is a long way from Burunga. The boys travel down here by bus, 45 hours through some of Australia's most isolated country, where once they were dwarfed by the landscape, here they were dwarfed by the streetscape.
Too much traffic light, too much car, and too much people.
Yeah?
Too big for us.
Too big for you?
Yeah. We're not used to big city, used to bush.
They sort of didn't know what to expect, and they're looking at people and looking at cars and how many people there is and things going on, the big buildings and that. I think they was nearly going to get up in the signpost and have a look around where they were.
Do you like Sydney?
Do I like Sydney? Yeah, mate, I live here. I think it's terrific. See, because we grew up here, we can't smell the pollution and the cars. We get used to it. So if I went out to Burunga, I'd probably feel a little bit lost out there. Wouldn't I? Have they got McDonald's in Burunga?
No.
Well, there you go. What would I have to eat?
Bush tucker.
Bush tucker?
Yeah.
What's bush tucker?
Food from the bush.
Yeah, like what?
Kangaroo, emu, and plum.
Plums?
And fish. Yeah, bachu and thing.
Fish from the bush?
Yeah.
You get fish in the bush?
Yeah.
Nah.
Sometimes in the river. Yeah.
Oh, from the rivers?
Yeah.
Got ya. Turtles? You eat turtles?
Yeah. Crocodile and
Crocodile?
goanna, blanket lizard.
Goanna and a blanket lizard. What's a blanket lizard?
It's sort of like a lizard.
Yeah?
But it's orange.
The one on
Biggies.
the 2-cent coin.
The one on the 2-cent. Ah,
Got biggies.
frill-neck lizard.
Yeah.
We call them frill-neck. What do you call them?
Blanket lizard.
Blanket lizards.
Like a blanket.
But if the fame of the fillet of fish doesn't extend to Burunga, word of other big city heroes has, as Arnold explained to us when we were up in Burunga.
I think Jeff Fenech be the hero around here. Jeff Fenech and maybe Mike Tyson overseas.
Anyone, any style that the guys try to emulate?
Yeah, Jeff Fenech. I'd say Jeff Fenech.
So the boys are brawlers?
Yeah, that's right.
In Sydney, nothing's changed. Why'd you like Jeff Fenech?
Come from Australia.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think he's a good fighter?
Yeah.
What would you say to Jeff Fenech if you saw him?
I'll say, good day, Jeff Fenech.
Yeah? Darling Harbour. It's maybe the most glittering showcase in Australia's biggest city. It was here we took the 5 members of the Burunga Amateur Boxing Club to sightsee and pick up a new pair of shoes. as part repayment for their welcome of us in the Northern Territory a month earlier. And maybe the trip would hold some surprises as well. So you remember your size?
8, 9.
9?
7.5.
7.5?
7.
7? 6, okay. We'll get someone to put them on for you now, okay?
These shoes should fit his boys, eh? Who's the 6? The size 6, grab that 6 there. Up the top box. The top one. Who was the 7.5? Yeah, what's your name? Jonathan. Grab them, mate. Make sure they fit you. Who was the 9? Big feet, eh? Chasing them kangaroos around.
The kids mightn't have been able to believe it, but it was Jeff Fenech. He saw the boys' original story and was determined to meet the members of Australia's most isolated boxing club and share some of his success with them.
This is what we all want to be one day, eh? So have a look at these. I'll bring you these to have a look at. All right? Just want to have a look?
It was a moment to be captured for friends and relatives at home, new shoes and a new friend. But as they ate lunch in the shadow of the city, Fenech hadn't finished with them yet.
So you've got to go out there and give it 110%. 100% is not enough, you know, because if the other bloke out there is giving 100%, you've got to just drive and dig for that little bit more. You've got to make all the people back at home proud of you, and apart from that, you've got to make yourself proud, all right?
For the boys, it had been a big day. With a fight still to come that night, it was time for bed and some real dream time. Sydney might have been big and strange, but in the ring tonight, they'd be in familiar territory. Hotel. The Ramada Renaissance had donated rooms for the club's rescue the staff and spiritual preparation for the fight night that was only a few hours away. And as they performed, they were no longer bewildered children in a strange city. Somehow, Sydney's newest five-star hotel was part of their world. And now for their moment of truth. The reason they've travelled thousands of miles from one of Australia's smallest towns to the largest is to fight against better opposition. They've been lucky enough to meet their idol, Australia's greatest ever fighter, Jeff Fenech. But will that motivation be enough to overcome the tiredness of their travel-weary bodies? The answer to that is in the ring.
34.
You couldn't get further from a heavyweight than this. In fact, Lucky only needs to gain about 50% more bulk to qualify as a flyweight. The boys are being checked and examined to determine their fitness for competition.
Okay, Michael, we're going to examine your hands first and make sure there's no swelling there or breaks or anything like that. Checking your wrist for stability. Make a fist for us now, as hard as you can, right? Good. Just checking your eyes now. Make sure there's no cuts or any evidence of any fracture there. Smile for that, and just feel your jaw to make sure there's no evidence there of anything broken or inflamed. Glands are okay in your neck there.
For this amateur boxing night at the St George Sailing Club, boxers are here from right around the state. But even here, the BABC is a novelty.
And we have boys that have come all the way from Northern Territory to box on the program tonight, so give them a warm welcome.
Four of the five boys are fighting, and with these guys in full regalia, it's enough to strike fear into the hearts of the strongest men.
Seconds down, round one.
They'd been tough and bruising encounters. Eddie had lost after Arnold threw in the towel, but Michael and Jonathan had both won. They couldn't have been happier, but Arnold still had to contend with his main event. It was Jamie's turn next.
Come on, you do it, eh? Let's go. Come on, Jamie, come on, you do it.
Seconds down, round one.
Jamie, he's a bloke that if he you train him, he believes in you, you believe in him, he'll do his best to make ends meet and win the fight in the end, Jamie.
Good boy, Jamie. Good finish, son. Good boy.
When he gets in close, keep your hands free and just keep pumping, and over top.
Jamie, just keep his hands up. Give the share your best. Just give it your best. You can hurt him. Start hurting him.
When Jeff was in the corner, he was sort of more or less sitting down where they were, and he was talking to them during the rounds, and I think that little bit extra Jeff put into him made him win the fight tonight.
It had been close, but it was still a victory. They'd come 4,000 kilometres, and if they hadn't all won, they'd all learned something about boxing and something about life.
Yeah, mate, good work. Well, very good fight.
They were top kids from the top end, and while they might have learned something from us, we definitely learned something from them. An innocence, an ability to look at the world through fresh eyes.
Good lad. Good on you. Well done. Well done, sir.
Lucky, Jonathan, Eddie, Jamie and Michael had experienced just about everything the city had to offer. But they, along with Arnold, couldn't wait to get back home, to backyard boxing and bush tucker.
Do you think you'd come down again to the big city?
Yeah, we'll come down to Sydney again. If there's fights, we'll be here. We'll fight anybody in our way. We're going to come down, we'll come down and fight them. But we're not going to stop around Sydney for a week like we've done this time. We'll come down a couple of days early, get in and get out.